To Story Ideas on the Fly, where we pick an idea from the hat and see what we can develop from it.
Let's see what we have today. A young dragon in search of his father.
Ooh, okay,
Ooh.
nice.
A young dragon
Let's
in
see.
search of his father.
Well, first question is, why is his father missing?
Well,
What does he know about his father?
Okay, what's dragon society like is the big question, because dragon society varies
Yeah.
from story to story, world to world, and even dragon to dragon sometimes. Like
Mhm.
I found you can find worlds where you can have 10 different dragons, all with 10 different societies. So,
okay.
and that's
see.
going to majorly impact this story.
So why is he looking for his father?
Okay.
I'm assuming fantasy on this because dragons
Unless
generally
you
are,
wanna
but
do
you can
urban.
go urban. You can
You
go
did
urban.
just think you could have a great urban fantasy if you had
You could
the
actually also go sci-fi and make the dragons aliens, but that
True.
let's not go with that because this
like
lends
I just
itself
had an
perfectly
idea
for
for
a sci-fi.
for an urban fantasy dragon looking for his dad.
Oh.
He's got some kind of organ failure or something where he needs his biological dad to come help him, and so he's on a quest to find him because of.
Okay,
You
let's
know,
go
I-
fantasy
yeah, we can
there.
You
go
know,
with-
my first thought is actually almost free fantasy
Oh,
Okay,
from like more Bronze and
primitive?
Iron Age
more primitive.
instead of
That could be
Renaissance.
That could be fun.
Because that would be the age where dragons would be most free to do whatever they want, type thing.
Yeah, because the
Good
more
point.
And it would
technology
be focused
develops,
and
the
have it
more.
focused more on the dragons themselves and have humans be a minor part of the story if you're doing that route.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So
I've seen
really,
stories
no.
where the
How much
dragons
do we
were the
want humans to be
important ones.
involved in the story is the second question.
okay. You could have a couple of things. One, you could have some problem that the way to solve this problem is a magical item that last known location was with this dragon's father. What's it, his father
that
that
is
he's looking
possible.
for?
Yeah.
Yes, it was his father.
Okay.
No one.
So he could be after magic that his father possessed.
Mm-hmm.
His father could have disappeared in, after a big battle, and he doesn't know if
Yeah.
he survived the battle.
You could have kind of an order of dragons that kind of think, paladins, King Arthur's knights or something, where they are the defenders of dragonkind and humanity, and they work together, and then have some big thing happen where they disappeared, and his dad had the big relic, but also the whole, like, a lot of them disappeared, so that would have been.
What if we make it so
Sorry.
that his dad is actually the villain? And it's not that he's trying to find his dad because he really wants to see his father or something. It's because his father is actually the one who's a threat to dragonkind. And the other dragons are going, you're the only one who actually stands a chance of getting close to him without instantly being incinerated.
Okay. Why is he the only one?
Because this dragon's really powerful and he's gonna go,
He's gonna kill anyone
You're my
who might let his
son?
son come in.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm just saying I prefer it if the villain doesn't get taken down by being even slightly compassionate.
yeah.
But the fact that he's his son could mean he has some kind of ability in common with his father.
Good point.
So
in one story with dragons I saw, there was this kind of dragon that had this venom that could melt through just about anything. But the venom of two that are in the same family actually neutralize each other.
Yeah. Or have
So
him
if he
be
has
immune to
something
the
like
venom
that,
because
then you could
he's,
have it so that each
know.
dragon has its own unique fire, but they're immune to their own fire.
Yeah.
But family members have close enough fires that they often are at least very resistant to each other.
Okay, so now we're getting into draconic bloodlines, which I like.
Draconic bloodlines are
So what
fun.
is the dragon society like?
Well,
I mean, first
Are they
question:
all,
Are
are they
dragons good
social?
parents? Are dragons social? Second
are
question:
they
Are they good
social
parents?
creatures? The The practical issue with social dragons is that, practically speaking, since they're predator animals and would eat a lot, that would be very hard on a
I
land.
think they would. They're highly intelligent, so I think they would be somewhat social. But I think they'd also be very. They're predators, and they each take vast swaths of land, and so I don't think they'd be very social.
If you want to have it so that you're focusing on the dragons, and this isn't really a story with humans, the dragons have to be social.
Somewhat
Or you
social.
just have a bunch of little loners,
Yeah, that's
a
what I'm
bunch of little
saying. I'm saying a
introverts sitting
mix.
around.
I'm saying a
The
mix.
scientific way I'd probably solve that is have some really large animals roaming the earth that they can eat.
Behemoths.
Behemoths, whales if they're or like large sea
Or if
animals
we
if
have
they
this
can,
be said early
if they
enough,
can
we
sea
could have there
dragons.
be giant behemoths, sea
Yeah.
monsters, leviathans, and stuff that the dragons often hunt, so that they can be
Ooh.
in close proximity.
In which case,
But I think each dragon would quickly move out young to their own layers and stuff, and want to
yeah,
kind of have their own
If
domain.
there's
Actually,
big
here's an
enough
interesting
behemoths,
idea.
they could hunt in packs.
True. Here's an interesting idea. If you've got a world with giant behemoths and huge monsters and creatures roaming the earth, could the dragons be the lords and protectors of humanity? So,
Works.
like, you've got humans, and there's there's a castle where the dragon lives, and then the humans live around it, and the dragon protects the humans from, whatever monsters or whatever creatures may come harm them. And so the dragons don't just protect themselves, they also have their humans to protect when they're considering things. And so this dragon going rogue and harming people is a threat to dragonkind and
Now,
humanity.
if
Oh,
you don't
yeah.
want his father to be the villain of this,
Mhm.
okay,
I like that idea
you
though.
could actually have what is needed, because dragons are intelligent. That doesn't mean
Yeah.
that they speak the human language. They don't necessarily speak common. So what his father could have is something that is actually, an amulet of translation, basically.
Or just make it so his father knows the human tongue.
Yeah, his father knows the human tongue because his father
Mhm.
somehow was involved with humans. His father got injured as a young little dragon,
Yeah.
and ended up with
Well,
the human race. And
He could have learned.
Actually,
and then
You
so
could
now
have polymorphing be a
he's-
thing and have the father
Right.
be the only one
So-
who knows how to polymorph.
No,
and
well,
so
here's the
now
thing.
he's the one
That's
though,
an
but
option, too.
because he lived with humans, he knows their language, and now he can go in and warn them of the threat to come.
That is an
Just a
option.
question though. How would humans compete?
Honestly, I don't. I think
dragons?
and humans, if dragons act as protectors for humanity, here's
Yeah.
what would happen. Language would develop around the dragons, and so humans would speak Draconic.
Yeah,
That's
probably would.
Now it depends on if the humans are aware of what all the dragons are doing for them.
If humans are utilizing dragons as their
I
protectors,
like it better if you want to have some connection to the humans, don't have it be language because it's going to be hard for humans to survive without cooperating with the dragons. Have it be polymorphing because that's a big dragon thing
Yeah.
anyway. Have if you want the father to be significant for to connect with humans, have him be the first dragon or one of the few dragons who knows how to polymorph, and so the dragon's going looking for that power.
okay, so are we scrapping the society we developed for the dragons then for this?
No, I didn't
No.
think so.
Because this to say that his father is the only dragon who can properly interact with humans.
No, I think the dragons and the humans have no problem communicating. They'd have to.
Yeah, exactly.
They'd have
In
to
order to
communicate.
cooperate, they'd have to cooperate.
If the dragons are protecting the humans from large animals, then
This
the humans
seems
and
like
dragons
a
have to
world
interact
where the
and
humans
cooperate.
pay tribute and respect the dragons, and the dragons protect the humans in kind, and that's kind of
Yeah.
the relationship they
Okay.
have. Which
We can go that
means
way,
we
but you
can't
could
have
have it-
what
Oh, yeah,
his
you can have
father's
other
doing
directions.
be the key to
Okay.
to connecting with humans, because otherwise dragon society doesn't
Well,
function.
yes, but that was assuming that
No.
the humans weren't aware of all these behemoths and all these things out because the dragons were protecting them unknown.
Oh, that's what you were assuming.
Yes, that's what it was. Okay.
Okay. No, that would be. You could go that way, but it would be hard.
It'd be really hard to hide a 40-ton flying lizard that breathes fire.
Well,
Okay,
and other
no, that's
large
fine. Let's go
animals,
with
too.
this because you got to make a decision and go for
Make
it.
a decision, move
so
on.
we're going for what you say.
I do
So we're
like the
going with
dragons are kind of the lords of the
father
land.
is actually the villain, and they're sending this kid because
Not
he's the one
necessarily.
who's
The fa-
has
the-
The
Yeah,
revenge.
father
he
is
doesn't-
even either the
We-
villain or he has some key to defeating this villain. The villain
Okay.
is a dragon of some
Second
kind.
question about dragon society.
Okay.
Are dragons good parents?
I
would
say
think some are,
at
some
least
aren't.
for some time. I would say that they are very
Dragons
good
are
parents for the first couple of
reptiles,
years.
So, are we? What kind of reptile are we
But
going
they're
with?
intelligent.
Snakes, birds, or lizards?
I would go with. Hey, birds are very good parents.
Depends.
Some of them. Some birds are very
Some
good
birds,
parents.
Some
their
are
parenting
great,
style
some are
is,
horrible.
I'm going to take care of you and pamper you until a certain point where I kick you out of the nest and you fall 400 feet.
You know, I actually could see dragons being
I
put that
actually
way.
kind of,
Where
yeah.
they're like, we are the most devoted parents in the world until you get big enough that
And
it's
then
time for you to
Go, hunt.
time to leave the nest. Go.
Fly!
Child of fire, get out of here, son!
Go,
Okay.
go and don't come back until you kill the cow.
So our hero.
The dragon.
Son.
Okay, so
The
the
sun.
dragon, the sun is the hero. Okay.
The villain is either the father or someone else, and he needs the father's help.
Because here's my question. Like, how
Okay.
close is a hero with his
I
father?
don't want to see a son going up against his
I don't want him
father.
to be the villain, but
I don't want the dad to be the villain just because I've done this before where I've had father be a supervillain and the son be the superhero and had to clash
And
and
it
stuff.
is a hard.
It is
It is
dark.
sad.
But the thing is, you don't want to do that for your main character.
okay. Here's what
you
I'm
can, but it
thinking.
makes it just a really
It makes
dark
it a lot
book.
darker.
So
Yeah.
I prefer
Okay.
to do something like that
Unless
as
you
a
make
side.
it so that dragons don't actually see the bonds between families very well.
Yeah, but humans do. So you get
Yeah,
to
so
read
Okay.
it,
it means
reading
something
it,
to the
and whether
humans.
the
In that case, why don't we have it be that we could have this be a coming of age type story, except for dragons? So you have him. He moved out, and his parents left him. It's like, okay, you're ready to go. Go off on your own.
And he's finding his people and building
finding
his
people,
castle
building a
and protecting
kingdom,
them.
and then
taking
something
care of everything.
happens, and like his
Mhm.
kingdom's destroyed. His layers looted, and stuff. And now he's on his own, and so
Mhm.
kind of lost.
He
He
needs
tries
his-
to go find his father for advice.
Oh,
What
I like
if?
that.
What if? His father does polymorph. His people were not killed because I mean, granted, this could happen where they get killed, but if they don't get killed and they get captured by the dragon, then he's got to rescue them, but he doesn't necessarily know how to. He goes back to his father to learn how to polymorph. Because his
Ooh,
father
I like
said,
that.
trial by fire, you'll pick it up eventually, don't worry about it. But now he's going, no, I need to learn it now so that I can get into the caves where they're being kept and save them.
Oh, I
Because
like
it's
that.
my responsibility as their dragon protector to protect them.
I like that. I like that. Okay.
Right. I still don't have
Yeah,
a love
that
story
can
yet,
work.
but that's the.
They're dragons.
Well, you just get a dragon that helps them out. Dragons can have love stories. Where do you think the baby dragons come from?
Mating season?
Okay.
We haven't discussed dragon mating.
Yeah.
So...
Okay. Let's not. Maybe it's time to end this.
Wow, romance, and you didn't get into it. It's okay.
Mating season is not a romance.
Okay,
No,
now
it's not.
All right.
yeah. The question is, if it's not just due to him being inexperienced in this for the first time until getting destroyed by wild animals, but if they're captured, then it's something systemic is attacking. So who's the villain?
Ooh, what if
Probably a
he's-
dragon.
What if it's a dragon though that is specifically after him to try to humiliate and destroy him, like trying to break him down psychologically because he's saying, I don't know whether this was a territorial dispute or maybe it was a girl. Maybe they both were fighting for the same mate and he won. And so now the guy's like, I'm going to prove that you didn't deserve this,
Or he could have something against the father And
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
we
he
say that
knows
the
he
father
can't.
was
He
like one of the
knows
most
he can't
powerful
go against
dragons.
the father,
He
but he's
can't
going.
take out
I'm
the
going to
father,
take
so he's
away
gonna
everything you
devastate the
care
son.
about. Right.
That could be so.
Yeah, if we just say that the father is one of the most influential dragons, suddenly you have plenty of reasons for people to hate him.
Yeah, but if you have the villain come in specifically targeting the son and specifically carrying his people away, not just to do it, but kind of to rub it in his face and say, "See, you can't protect them. I'm gonna, make this really a big
I'm going to
deal."
put them in a cage and dangle them over lava now.
Yeah, just to show how much more
You know,
powerful I am,
and
just to
yes, to
flex on
them-
you.
Yeah, big bad dragon there. You know, I can take what you love the most from
Yeah.
you.
Then he has more reason than it's specifically. Then yeah, it's not just I screwed up and I'm not a good enough
Now, if we want
protector.
a little more in this, instead of just wanting to, say, hey, I'm going to get revenge on your son because I can't on you. There could be something specific that he wants, some item, some magical item or something that the father protects. And he's going, I want that. For some reason, he thinks it should be his, that he's the rightful wielder.
No.
And they won't give it to him. So he's saying, I'm going to give you reason.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you, hey, I get your son, I get your,
Interesting thing to add into this story,
uh-huh.
and this is slightly from what you were just talking about. But dragons are very independent creatures, valuing personal strength, and because of that, they do things like when a dragon child becomes of age, they're just sent off on their own and expected to make a name for themselves. So I think actually the son going back and begging his father for help would be almost a sign of weakness and disgrace for these dragons, which could be interesting. He's desperate, so
Yeah.
he's willing to do it. And so one thing he could have, because you don't want him to just go to his father and have his father go, okay, I'll
Go
handle
and fix
this.
everything.
Right.
So
Well, his father may not say yes. His father may say no. You figure it out on your own.
yeah, that type of thing where it's like, no, you have to. This is how you are supposed to grow, type thing. You have to do this. I'm going to give you a bit of advice, and that's it, type thing.
Or the other thing he could do is say, this is a bad enough situation that you're going to need this magic that I protect, but you better not let it fall in the wrong hands. Now, one thing
Yeah.
I want to see in this, by the way, is because if we are protecting a people, we've got to get some of those characters, and this may be where your love
Yes.
story comes in, is we've got to get to know some of those characters
Some
in
of the
there,
people
because
that he's
otherwise it's
protecting.
just we're protecting
Well, you
some
could
unknown
take some
people.
time to get to know, because you could start the story where he gets sent off on his own and have him, start meeting humans and, saying, hey,
Yeah,
come
so
be,
he really
I'll
learns to
protect
love
you and
these
I'll
people.
protect these people. And, he would know them by name. He would know, because I don't think
Honestly,
the dragon
I-
starts off with a lot of people. I think they start off with just a handful of, scragglers, orphans, whoever's lost, and then they slowly build up over 100 years or so.
Honestly, this would be.
And so these would be
I see
very
this less
important
as
people
like
to
an
him.
intense adventure. It would be more of a city builder type story.
City building, coming of age,
City building, coming of
Okay,
age,
if I do it,
adventure
it's gonna
story.
be epic.
swallowing your
Swallowing
pride,
your pride.
saving
But
saving
it has
your
lots of
friends.
that
We
elements.
can get a
It's got a
good
lot of good
hero
stuff.
in our humans
Yes.
that's working with the dragon.
Yes.
You have multiple
And
heroes.
that makes
Right.
the love story very
Very easy.
human love stories are a lot easier than dragon love stories. Not
Yeah.
that we can't have those too, but
Okay.
yes, I look at you and I say dragons, dragon love stories. I wonder why.
All right.
All right. What would you like to see in this?
For reptiles.
Okay.
No, dragons are not necessarily reptiles.
So we're making them cats?
Dragons can be whatever we want them to be.
Dragons are cats.
Dragons
They
are kind of similar to cats. You can make an argument for dragons being cats, but they do not necessarily share the same biology as creatures from our world.
Yes.
Right. All right.
So
on that note, let us know what you would do with it. If you want to tell us what you think makes a dragon, go for that. If you want to give us more ideas, and
Serpentine. That's
if you
it.
want to give us more,
Serpentine and scary.
if you want to give us more ideas for our hats, we are always
We
looking
always
for
love
new
your
prompts.
ideas.
And if it gets too much for this hat, we'll just get a bigger hat. So we will
we
see
have
you-
3.
We'll see you next time.